Hi, everybody. I'll go with my slides. I got 20 minutes. I'm going to get you right to lunch on time. So if you want to bring up, you got to do hashtags now at talks. And I always forget to put my information up so people don't, I don't carry business cards on me. So that's how to get a hold of me. And this is really quick, an overview of why we're the Geek Squad. There is a difference. And it really started when a geek became the world's richest person about 20 years ago, and Bill Gates. That's when the social classes started to kind of reverse. So what I wanted to do when I was in college was take the best of geek culture, who had the, what you want on your teams are the intelligence, healthy obsession without the social ineptitude. Really quickly, I always like to start with this because this is what I started with. This, for me, is the international symbol for struggle. And those of you who've gone to college, you know what I'm talking about, right? Now, actually, I didn't have time to put this slide in, but I just thought about it this morning sitting in the crowd. It's been supplanted by the 2-pizza rule. Have you heard of this rule? Amazon has it in a lot of engineering teams. When we talk about innovation and being nimble, Amazon engineering team, who's known for moving very quickly, have what's called the 2-pizza rule. And that is, if the team you have working on a project that's supposed to be agile and nimble, can't be fed by more than 2 pizzas, then you have too many people on the team. Now, I always like to show this because, this is what I lived on for several years in college. And I always said the best thing ever to happen to me when I started my company is I had no money. And when you don't have money, you're forced to do a lot of things creatively. Kind of like how you see your kids have more fun with the cardboard box in the driveway than they do with the actual toy that it came in. Obviously, a lot of larger companies are going to learn that as their budgets get cut and resources are tight. I want to thank the people who invited me here because I was in town anyway, so they said, do you want to talk to a bunch of government people? I'm like, sure, I've never done that before. So I'm going to give my talk the way I run my company and make this shit up as I go along. So I want this to be sort of like a Geek Squad house call. I want to make it a little bit smarter. I'm just going to share with you what I see because, they say that one of the reasons Einstein had so many insights is that he worked in the Swiss patent office and so saw a lot of ideas going by. And that's really the world we're in now, where when you have access to search and YouTube, you can piece together a lot of information. And when I'm in people's homes and offices, you see a lot of things. The technology is all the same, but you see how different people use them. So my hope today actually is not to talk about government or policy. I'm not here to sell you anything. It's just to show you what I'm seeing real quickly. This is why most service companies suck, because this is all you need to be in the service business. Anybody who's ever remodeled a kitchen, the construction worker shows up, leaves tools laying around. If you ask for a written proposal, you get a dirty Burger King napkin with some numbers on it. It's really easy to get in the service business. And so this is how I started out in the campus of the University of Minnesota in 1994, just to make extra money, to make house calls. And I was my own call center. I was my own fleet manager. And so I decided I worked in a research lab, and research labs are where geeks first were born. And thanks to the government, the internet, really started on college campuses. And the reason geeks were born there is because that was the only place you get high-speed internet access. So they could get us to work for basically slave wages just for high-speed internet. And I saw geeks as a separate race of creatures. And I thought, and they're a peaceful race, dedicated to knowledge. They don't care about power. The only power that geeks care about is low battery usage and longer battery life. And I thought, if I could tame them for the public benefit. Everybody wants to make technology. Nobody wants to make house calls. And now even your IT department doesn't want to make house calls. And when you take your computers home at night, or you're here at a session today, who are you going to take care of? So when you do business, you have to make a bunch of decisions. Like, okay, I need a car, and I'd seen Ghostbusters, and I was like, when you have no money for marketing, everything you do is marketing. So I started driving around town. I found this car. It's a 1958 Simca Orande. It's a French car, typical of the French culture. 7 ashtrays, no seat belts. I got it for $2,200. They say that be bold and mighty forces will come to your aid. And luckily for me, a couple years later, in 1998, Volkswagen comes out with a car. And if you really think about it, I have stolen. If Picasso said good artists copy and great artists steal, I've stolen all of my fashion sense from the federal government. Because I was really worried about, I knew other companies would try and get into this business, and so they're going to copy us. And if they're going to copy us, I have to be really hard to copy. So I looked around at police cars, and I thought, well, the black and white's kind of an icon. I should just steal that, because that's exactly what it's like when I show up at somebody's house. It's like Dragnet, it's like, ma'am, I'm here to fix the computer. It's over there, that stupid piece of shit. Ma'am, please, it's okay. I'm going to take care of it. So I just try to echo that in the branding. So anyway, we're almost 20 years old now. Most people think that Best Buy created Geek Squad. They didn't. It was Geek Squad, actually, after 8 years, that I acquired Best Buy. And they're a good little company. Keep an eye on them. It's like a Reese's peanut butter commercial, really. Two great tastes that taste great together. They sell the stuff, we make it work. I met Bill Gates a couple years ago, which is kind of a big nerd honor for me. And I shook his hand, and he kind of nervously said, I like Geek Squad. These are Geekmobiles in London. This will work anywhere. They're uncool people in every country. And we're only getting more internet connections. These smart cars work great in London. But we don't make technology. We're actually not really in technology support. We're really in people support. Hence the name. Humor goes a long way towards building trust. People always apologize to me. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so stupid about this technology. And I'm like, please don't be impressed by my technical knowledge. I only learned this stuff staying home like 1,000 Saturday nights. Okay, on to the technology now. One of the most interesting technologies, of course, is that your phone is a barcode scanner using the camera. You can compare prices. This is disruptive to Best Buy and all sorts of other retailers. But it's a good thing. It's very useful. The idea of self-service and empowering the consumer. But what I think is interesting is that once people have a taste of these technologies, up until now, people didn't feel confident enough to criticize the IT department, or didn't feel confident enough to challenge a company because they couldn't compare those experiences. But to the previous speaker, when you go home at night and the employees go home at night, they have access to more high-powered collaboration technology from Facebook and other technologies and Xbox. And they go back to work and get all these lockdown devices. It begins to create a disconnect. And so what's happening is that when you have like a boarding pass electronically, you begin to go, well, if they can do that, why can't this other company do that? Or why can't the people at my work do that? And I think that's what's going to start to really escalate things to a very interesting degree. Some of the other trends we're really interested in. I mean, let's think of what we sell at Best Buy. I probably should go back here to keep you focused on the screen. So we sell DVDs and CDs. I don't know how much longer that physical stuff's going to be there. What's going to replace it? Well, there are kind of three categories that aren't in a Best Buy today that you'll start to see. One of which is fitness, which is kind of a funny joke. Like Best Buy spent the last 40 years putting America on the couch, and now we're going to make money of getting you off the couch. You've already started to see a whole class of devices about fitness. There's Fitbit, there's Philips has one, and there's one coming out next month by Jawbone. Keep an eye on this company, by the way. Of the companies that are in a class of design as well as Apple. If you haven't seen Sonos, probably the best system for listening to music in your home. And Jawbone, who make probably the best Bluetooth headset. And they have a little jam box too, by the way, which is the ultimate little mobile speaker for your iPad or your mobile phone. But next month, they're going to unveil a whole different class of devices. This is a wristband that's got a rechargeable battery in it. It's got an accelerometer. So like when you sleep at night, it can tell how much you're moving around, how restless you are. And it'll give you your own information. It also counts the number of steps you take during the day. Your life is going to become a video game where your calorie burn is your score and your calorie in. And if you really think about it, everything we sell at Best Buy now is an accessory just for your mobile device. So what's very interesting is that our brains suck at recycling, saving for retirement, and losing weight, because all three involve projecting in the future. And our brains evolved to detect immediate threats, not to plan for long term, as you probably know in terms of government and society. Devices like this, though, will augment attention span. They can nudge you. I mean, you've all been sitting for 3-4 hours now. After, I don't want to depress you too much, but after 28 minutes, your body actually goes from fat burning mode to fat storage mode. The Japanese have very low furniture. They get up and down about 150 times a day. That makes them more active, and therefore, it's actually kind of a hidden form of exercise. And I hate working out. I hate it. I find it monotonous as hell. So I'll play racquetball because I live in Minnesota and I can't bike outdoors in the winter. But imagine your phone every 20 minutes buzzed at you and says, get up, move around. These meetings that you sit in for 2 or 3 hours, it's killing you. The next FedTalks, by the way, I think needs to have no chairs in here. You should just be standing to kind of moving around the whole time. And you might as well get credit for it. How else will this play out? Well, let's take a look at the GPS in your car. Right now, you type in restaurants. It'll look at near you, and it'll give you a list of restaurants. And you see McDonald's. All of a sudden, you tap McDonald's. You know, are they open? Yes. All of a sudden, McDonald's pops up and says, we have a deal of the day. 2 Big Macs for $1.99 and a large Coke. And you go, take me there. And as you pull into the parking lot, your health HMO pops up and says, we'll take $5 off your copay this month if you get a salad. And how will they know that? Because the barcode you use to redeem that will trace back to your HMO. This is going to happen. And the idea is that consumers should get some kind of benefit. But that would actually, I think, would be kind of a fun game. So you're going to see a whole class of devices where you are the accessory. Now, this is why I came to Best Buy. If you thought Geek was a computer repair company, this map shows you our future, okay? Lighting, how would you like, I mean, think of all the rules in your life. If your garage door is open more than 20 minutes, that's where most theft occurs, is an open garage door. So why don't we just have a simple rule? If garage door open greater than 20 minutes and no human activity detected, shut the door. How about cameras all over your house? You're going to have personal drones one day. Okay? All this drone technology that the government's developing, oh, that's going to be sold at Home Depot in 12 years. They'll be like little butterflies that'll fly around your house. You call the cops and say, somebody stole my lawn furniture while I was at work. And the cops are like, I'm chasing some real bad criminals, thank you. If you go, I've got video, they'll be like, we'll be right over. It's an instant conviction. So your sprinkler system, right? Don't you hate, who turns on their sprinkler after sunset? Shame on you people, it's going to get mold on your lawn. You're supposed to do it like early morning before the sun comes up. Home automation is going to be a whole other area. I even have a name for the Geek Squad agents who will specialize just in this area. They're going to be called control freaks. The model will be anything that can be networked in your home will be, if you want. But the ability to do much more advanced timers, lighting control for energy conservation, to shut the shades on a hot day with the right direction, different lighting for if you're having a cocktail party versus the lights coming on and off. All these things are going to get less expensive. Unlike a home theater, which costs about $5,000 to $10,000 to do a decent one, you have to do it all at once. With home automation, you can start with one light switch in a dorm room. So there's a lot of, our notion of computing and technology is going to expand far beyond the tablet and the mobile. Okay, one other thing, we've gotten a lot of credit for what's called 12th Force, which is a horrible name, but it's a good concept. And the idea is that a company as a social network so that we can respond to you. Now, we did this about 4 years ago. And a lot of companies are on social media now, but the future is not to have a social media team, because that actually creates a problem. If you have people monitoring social media, does that create an incentive for the rest of the company not to listen to people? So the future of these social media activities are that everybody in the company is networked and can help a customer at any time. But it's going to go further than that. One other quick trend that I think the gentleman from VMware was mentioning is bring your own device to work. I had this vision of putting a tablet in the hand of every single employee. But actually what's more likely to emerge is that it costs us less to give you a stipend each year. It costs us about 2/3 of the actual cost. So you could pick Raise your hand if you would just prefer to buy what you want to bring to work and just have the company give you, you'd pay a third of the cost, and at the end of 18 to 24 months, just like a cell phone contract, you'd keep the device and you'd be eligible for another one. So watch this trend, bring your own device to work, because once the data is in the cloud, there's less need to secure things on the device. And this is the idea that knowledge management in an organization, the knowledge lives within people. The most instant messaging is, right now, in most companies, you can't instant message each other from your own personal device to any other device. And if we could, at least in our business, when somebody comes into a store, I don't know what question you're going to ask. And even Geek Squad agents can't know everything. But between everybody being networked, they can kind of know everything else. So the future of almost all like retail and business experiences will be, I don't care if you know it, I just want you to find the answer. And we're increasingly going to become pickier about people just telling us, I don't know, instead of I'll find out. Lastly, companies are going to become a series of APIs with like a single flagship. The idea of completely open data. If you just Google this, we have a thing called BVY Open, where you can actually create your own bestbuy.com and get paid if you think you can do a better job than us. And we don't crowdsource it and ask people to work for free. There's an affiliate model. Amazon does this as well. But all companies and organizations will be kind of like a series where they'll have their data published, and then not unlike apps where there's 10 different apps to do photography and stuff like that. Okay, to wrap up, everybody's focusing on online, but the biggest trend actually is the growth to physical locations and the hybrid blend of digital and physical. That's where this gets really interesting. And you network the people. I'm going to skip past that. I'm going to talk one last thing, and that is, look what Domino's is doing with their pizza tracker. This is crazy. You order a pizza, they'll tell you when it went in the oven. It is now baking. The driver's now breaking all local speed limits to bring that pizza to you. Like, when Domino's can do that, it really raises the bar for the rest of us to think about social, because what they're doing is they're just being social with your information, not unlike FedEx is being social with your package information. It gives us a sense of calm, and you're going to see that more and more. Because when Domino's can do it, it kind of removes the excuses for the rest of us, especially when it can publish it in Times Square. The last trend I want you to talk about is, though, that automation is cool, but you know what's even better? Anticipation. The whole goal of all of this networking is to predict failure. This is what I hate about business today, that you have to press 1. When I call the airline, they should know by my caller ID that I just had a flight last night and I don't have anything scheduled for the next week. Take a guess what I'm calling about. So the ability to anticipate what somebody wants, that's really cool, because the whole problem with social media is you have to wait for the customer to tweet you versus them never having to lift a finger at all to detect your preferences. And so all of these technologies are going to raise the bar. And that's why the last thing I want to end with, real quickly, this is the second to last slide. We're looking at what people are searching for on our website, where this becomes a kind of a real-time feed. We actually look at what our employees search at on the intranet to detect what problems do we have in the business. And that's why the last slide I want to show is this. There's a reason why this business failed, because you had to call them, which was like, and the reason I like the word psychic is because that's really where companies are going to go. Right? Think of when you stay in a hotel or in an airline, their ability to use all these signals, even without linking to your identity per se, but to identify your preferences. So the last slide I'll lead you with is that the future is not about automation, but anticipation. Thanks very much.